Hello, welcome to Connected by Community. I'm Brian Ballantyne with Anthony Colancheco, and today we have a special guest here on this podcast, and it is from Ronald McDonald House, Marti Spencer. Marti, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
We're really excited, and I don't know if you even know this, we've actually partnered with Ronald McDonald House a couple of different times with toys.
Yes, name is familiar. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're always excited to do that around Christmas time, but I know there's needs all the time.
There are needs all the time, but Christmas especially.
I'm sure that's an exciting time for sure.
It is.
Maybe before we jump into that, tell me a little bit about yourself, kind of what you do around the community personally, and what brought you to the community. Are you a native?
I'm not a native. I originally came from Miami. Mm-hmm. I've been here about 23 years and was a stay-at-home mom for the longest time, but my background was in PR and marketing. And so when they started going off, I decided to join the Ronald McDonald House. So I've been with them a little over 16 years, and I'm their CEO.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like you've made a little bit of a career of it if you've been here that long.
I have. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about what your job entails as the CEO of Ronald McDonald House here.
Well, my efforts are to keep the house open, to make sure that, and we have done that even through COVID, because kids unfortunately are still sick. There's still that darkness in some families' lives where their kids are critically ill and injured. And we're that home away from home because we really believe that it's important for parents to be there with their children when they're sick. They're able to talk to the doctors and just spend a lot of quality time with their kids because sometimes that time is limited.
Could you tell us the history of Ronald McDonald?
Sure. The Ronald McDonald House was, the first house was in Philadelphia. And there was a gentleman, he was a football player, and his daughter was sick with leukemia. And they wanted to encourage someone to help them to have a home so that parents could stay there versus staying on the hospital floors and eating out of vending machines. And so that's what we do at our house. They have a suite, private bath. There's 3 meals a day. There's transportation back and forth to the hospital. So we support all the pediatric specialists here in town and the hospital facilities that help children. And that's from NICU to 21 years of age.
So how many people does that encompass at one time?
We have 24 rooms.
Okay.
Now, during COVID, we've kind of put that to 12 to make sure that everyone stays safe and we have social distancing and that kind of thing. We have all the same things, masks and hand sanitizer and space between each other. And walking through the house, you have to wear your mask. But we've been able to keep the house COVID clean. So it's been a great experience being able to still keep the program open.
So what other challenges have you ran into during this COVID times?
Funding has been a huge one because naturally people all over were suffering and had to curtail things and had a lack of employment and that kind of thing. So I think funding and being able to do things out in the community like we did before, fundraisers, because that not only brings funding but also awareness. Because just because you're donating might not be you may not be a recipient of what we do, but again, you might be. And so it's good for everyone to know what we're doing out there and that this is available to them. Because this is a house that when someone comes in, even if they don't have a dime to their name or even if they have a lot, if it's beyond them to pay the $10 a night donation that we request per night, if we have a room, they have a space, and it doesn't matter. So about 75% of those that stay with us aren't able to pay for the service. And that's fine. And that's what the community does for us. When you see the house, it is the best of who we are as a community for sure.
Yeah, and it's a great place for those who haven't gone out there. Just what you're able to offer and make it feel like a home away from home.
Yeah, and we have a lot of volunteer opportunities. We have a guest chef program. We have Cookies from the Heart where families come in and make cookies for our families. And guest chef program is just folks coming in and making a dinner in our kitchen for the families that are there at the house. And you can sign up for all of that online.
Is that something sometimes businesses do as well?
Oh, absolutely. Businesses, restaurants, fraternities, sororities. A lot of people get involved in that practice because for us, as I said, they have access to 3 meals a day in our house. But dinner is a big deal. And a lot of times if they don't come on in time, dinner is served between 5 and 6, well, then they can, of course, have leftovers. There's a lot of aspects of the house that you just would not be able to do in a hotel environment. That communal feeling because there are other people there that are going through the same thing with their children and they're very ill and that kind of thing. It's very special to families to be able to have that connection.
Do you ever run into situations where other family members, and I guess I'm thinking more specifically children who aren't sick, and some of their needs that they have being away from home with their sick loved one.
Oh, absolutely, because we also we have a space where they can homeschool their kids if they need to, so there's a playground out there. So a lot of times siblings do come. We've limited that contact a little bit right now because of COVID, but that's always something that we're open to because families, again, need to be together. And the siblings, too, that's hard for them. You have a child sick in the hospital, that child seems to be getting all the attention. Those kids, I mean, we had a case where there was 2 little boys and their sister was there and she was having chemotherapy, outpatient. Towards the end, she goes, I get to go home now. And they go, no, you don't look so good, because they wanted to stay. They were enjoying themselves. She goes, no, I do want to go home. But because we provide that environment, because we have birthdays and holidays and all those things that we celebrate at the house, and we do try to make those special for the kids as well as for the families. Because a minimum stay at our house could be 7 nights, but we've had someone stay over 200 nights. So it does become their home away from home.
How has Ronald McDonald impacted your life personally?
Oh, it puts things into perspective. I have 2 sons that have never been sick and are grown men now, and not having to be able to experience that and be so grateful for that, it puts life into perspective. As a matter of fact, my kids, when they were in high school, they'd have their stories at the end of the day, and they'd go, let us tell ours first, because we know yours is going to be so much worse, and make us feel like this is not worthy of a conversation. So because everybody has their things, but it does put things into perspective, and we do more than just welcome a family because of the fact that they have a sick child. Sometimes people start their lives over. They realize that where they're coming from is not a good environment. During the time they're with us, sometimes they could lose their livelihood, their house, their cars. So we help to connect them with others in the community that could give them some assistance. So there's a lot about it. It's just more than a place to stay, actually.
Are there any programs that you guys offer beyond that place to stay that you could share with us that people might want to know about and how you're helping folks?
Well, we have, like I said, we have the meal program, which is guest chefed and cookies from the heart. And we also collect the pop tabs. And there's someone in town, Adams Recycle, that gives us money for the aluminum that we collect. The other thing is we have Adopt-A-Room. So people will come in and adopt a particular room. They'll come and adopt a family. So there are a lot of different ways, aside from events that we have, because we do have an outdoor event coming up where we light up the whole house, and we'll celebrate at Embassy Suites outside in the pavilion, but live entertainment, steel toe stiletto, and this will help us to raise funds for the house for the coming year.
And when is that?
That's going to be November 19th. We'll light the house up on November 18th, and then on the 19th we'll celebrate that with an outdoor party. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so one of the other things that we were kind of talking about just a little bit ago is around Christmas time, a lot of us think about toys for kids. They're away from home, and I know our business has done that in the past, and there may be needs. I guess maybe what are some of the needs around that people don't think of, or a bigger need that people don't think of with that?
Well, we have on our website, we have a monthly newsletter that will address what we need for the month. And so you can go there and look for the wish list. But aside from toys, sometimes it's gas cards. It's something to one of the fast food restaurants, a gift certificate there, Target gift card, things of that nature, because we can give these things to our families and they can purchase what they need. Or if they're not able to get out because mom is there but dad took the car, they can order things online and they'll have the card to use. So those types of things are very helpful as well, along with the toys. The kids always need the toys, though. Yeah. It makes a big difference. Yeah. And then what we do is if we get abundance of toys, and if there are too many, well, then we share them with our hospitals and their emergency areas so that they can share that with the kids as well. Because we have a family room over at Prisma Children's Hospital as well. So families can come in there, get a free snack, coffee, that sort of thing, and that's open during the week for them. So it's just kind of like an extension of who we are.
That's awesome. I honestly don't know this. What Ronald McDonald, what's the affiliation there with the house?
Well, they're our mission partner for sure. And what they did is they started the houses, but we have over 350 worldwide. So they can't be the sole person who's taking care of everything. So they put a Ronald McDonald House into a community. Normally, in our case, an owner-operator many years ago decided this would be a wonderful thing for the Greenville community, and he started the process of opening up the house here. But the thing is that it's so important to the community to be able to have that, the Ronald McDonald House. But it just takes an individual to say, that's what I'm going to do. And McDonald's helps us with the bigger partnerships. Southwest Airlines, Lazy Boy, Sherwin-Williams, that as a small house, they might not pay much attention to us, but with a bigger picture. So they help us with those big campaigns for things for the house. They do the local owner-operators help us with canister programs and other funding throughout the year. So that's a big help. But they couldn't do it all. So what they say to you is, here's the house. Here's the support that we can give to you within your community, because all of us have owner-operators that help us with their stores. But you need to have the community embrace you. And as you can see, if you've experienced the house, we certainly have.
Is there other ways the community could get involved?
Oh, sure. I mean, there are volunteer opportunities. There are volunteer opportunities also through our Red Shoe Society, which is a young philanthropic group, 21 to 39. So they have their own events, their own fundraisers, but that's an area where you can get involved too.
Awesome.
Great. Could you talk about the Young Professional Society?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. We started this a few years ago. First, we branded it as Tomorrow's Leaders. And then we decided that through all of our offices that we would do it as the Red Shoe Society. And so what they do is it's another philanthropic arm for us, but it's to get engaged with that demographic in our community. And so they have a full board, they have members. The membership is $89 for a year, and that's actually what it costs us to support a family in a room for a night.
Awesome.
So it's a great way to get involved, and we have all of that on our website.
Sounds like you guys have a ton of programs that I wasn't aware of. So.
Oh, yeah, a lot of different things, because there's so many different things happening for families. And to stay engaged, we need to do that. And we've tried to adapt to the non-fundraisers that we can have. So we had Wear Your Stripes, which is everybody is wearing red and white striped socks through town, and you're doing fundraisers, peer to peer. So that was a really great program for us. And then Lights of Love has replaced what our Hearts and Hands gala was at Christmas time. We'd have a big event of over 450 people at the TD Center, and it was normally crafted after a particular country because we're all over the world. But right now we're just kind of celebrating small, but celebrating outside. So we hope your listening audience and yourselves can join us at some point.
I think we had the red stripes 2 years ago.
We did. I wore them on the beach.
There you go.
So you can dig back in the archives on our website and find some of that stuff. So.
Absolutely. So it's a lot of fun, and people have a good time with it.
Yeah.
So we appreciate the support.
Awesome.
Well, how could our audience get in contact with you?
They can go right to our website, and the team is on there. I'm on there. They can contact anybody they want to. They can look at the different programs that are offered and see what speaks to them.
Awesome. And then our famous question, what makes you tick?
Being able to help people. That has just been my mission. From my family to my children to my husband to this effort for folks that I only know for a very short time, but I would not want to be in their shoes, and they give us a lot of strength. And that's not just for me, but for the whole team that's there. As I said, it puts things into perspective. It makes you realize how fortunate you are, and it's very humbling. And that's what makes me tick.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for joining us and sharing about your program. And certainly we hope our listeners will go out and support where they can.
Yeah, they can just go on the website and check us out. And I really appreciate you guys giving us a voice today.
Awesome. Thanks, Marty. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Go out and like us, join us, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. And until we see you again, go out and make our community great. Bye-bye.